Hey everybody, what's up? It's Kendra. Hi. Thanks for tuning in with me today. Cole and Kendra. Sensation. Anyway, so y'all know I'm crazy. Anyway, so today I wanted to come to you guys and talk about family. I know, I'm real family oriented. I don't play when it comes to my kids. And you would never think, you would never believe that my background with my family is just not the best. Even right now. As it stands right now, I am not on speaking terms with my mother, my father, I have three sisters. So all three sisters, I don't talk to them. And the only two members of my family that I actually communicate with is my little brother and my mom's, my cousin, my first cousin, my mom's side. I don't talk to anybody on my dad's side. I actually have an aunt that I actually like. I like her. But I don't really talk to her or anything like that. Like, we friends on Facebook, but that's probably as far as it goes. But anyway, so, I just wanted to come today and talk about family and talk about the way we're raising our families, what we're teaching our children, what we're showing our children, because I'm sure my kids are looking at me like, Mom, you tell us we need to be there for each other and support each other and look out for one another. And if when we get grown and when, one person, like one of my sisters picks up the phone and say, hey, I need a ride, blah, blah, you better get out of your bed. I don't care if you married, with child, without child. I don't care if you in listen, when your brother or sister needs you, you need to be there to pick up the pieces wherever it may be. So I raise my kids like that, but it's so hard to stand my ground and stick with that it's so hard to be firm about that when my family is nothing like that. Y'all, I was raised in a family of single mothers, of course, and they all were teen mothers. So that's a cycle that goes on in my family. But not only that, that's not even the worst part. I mean, because you can recover from being a teen mother. You could, pick up the pieces and still live a decent life. My thing is, when you move through life and you hold grudges, that is an issue, and that is a big issue on both sides of my family. Even growing up, we would see the rivalries and the arguments and I'm not talking to so-and-so and I ain't talked to so-and-so in years, and the family sees nothing wrong with that behavior. Now that's where the problem lies, because everybody is so accepting of this foolishness, that it continues to hit every cycle, every generation, and nobody sees anything wrong with that. Well, I do. If your family is anything like mine, where they hold grudges and they don't talk to each other for years, this is just a cycle. It's a plague, a black cloud basically over your family, man. And that is not cool. I refuse to allow my children to grow up like we grew up. I don't want them hating one another when they become grown. I don't want them turning their back on one another. I don't want them talking behind each other's back. I don't want them putting people before family, because that is not what it's about. Family is the one constant that will always be there. Doesn't work like that in my family, but for my immediate family, my children, they are being raised like that. They are being raised to stick together and look out for one another. Even though we weren't, we were told that coming up, but it wasn't enforced, because what we're seeing, if you could go 4 or 5 years without talking to your twin sister, then there is an issue. There is an underlying issue, and it has probably a lot to do with the mother of those twins. It has a lot to do with the way that you're being raised. And so, like I said, we were told that coming up, but it wasn't displayed. The words "I love you" was not something that was shared in my household coming up. Even now that we're grown, it still seems kind of awkward, even though I tell my kids every single day, don't skip a beat. And you have to tell them that you love them, because how else will they know? You have to show them that you love them, because how else will they know? So you can't allow your kids to grow up like I did, and I turned out just fine, y'all. I turned out just fine. But not everybody turns out just fine. Not everybody's gonna be okay, I turned out perfect. I'm good. I'm good now. I mean, I got my own share of issues, and I can't blame anybody for them. But what I'm saying is we have to teach our kids to stick together, to not go places alone, and to tell somebody when they need help, or tell somebody when they need to talk, or just to be open and communicate, and just to be there for one another, basically, because our children are abandoning each other. Like, that is not cool, y'all. That is not cool. I'm sorry, I'm turning. But that is not cool. Your children need to be sticking together, looking out for one another, making sure nobody falls through the cracks. I'm not kidding, y'all. This is a serious issue, and I know for a fact that my family has an issue with that. So I could just imagine, how many other families are also struggling with that, y'all. We have to keep our kids tight-knit, together, family-oriented, and looking out for one another, because that's what's important. Don't continue to let these cycles tear your family apart. Don't continue to let these grudges and these ill feelings and all of this stuff, lead you down the wrong path, the path to where you won't be talking to somebody in your family for years on end. Now, I haven't spoken with my mom in roughly a year. Yeah, it's pretty sad. And the sad part is, I didn't even know she was mad at me. So she was mad and stopped talking to me, which, I see that as an issue. But if she doesn't see it as an issue, then is it really an issue? I mean, it's still an issue, but if she doesn't see it as an issue, then that's not something that can be worked on. That's not something that's going to be improved upon, because she's not willing to, identify the issues and rectify them and work on them. So I'm not really sure where we go from here. I know eventually we will start back talking, and it always happens like that. You give a person space. You can't make anybody like you, or you can't make anybody talk to you. But the important thing is you have to remember, we've only given this one life. She is, I am, you're only given one mother, one father. So to hold grudges and to be bitter and to live your life that way, nothing good can come from it, y'all. It's not even worth the trouble. For me, I do feel that there are underlying issues that is causing the continuous rifts in the family. But it's only because the communication is not open. Nobody wants to talk. There are certain things in the family that's just unspoken. Like, nobody speaks about them. Nobody, wants to acknowledge them. And that's the real issue, because a lot of those things that nobody wants to talk about needs to be talked about. It needs to be addressed so we all can move forward. You know what I'm saying? We all can make progress. We all can move on with our lives, because at the rate this is going, this cycle will just continue, and just as it has. And nobody's going to be progressing or moving forward, which is not beneficial to anyone. So we got to continue to educate our children, continue to be there for them. Don't, you can get mad at them. Everybody gets mad. Everybody gets angry. But to harbor that hatred in your heart is only killing you. And, that's pretty much all I got to say about that. I'm truly, trying to work on me and get myself together and really figure out where I'm headed and where I'm going. And without the support of family, it's really tough. It's really tough to celebrate victories and things of that nature when you don't have a support team. I mean, I have my children, so I look to them for my support. But it would be nice to have mom saying, "Girl, I can't believe you did that. You go, girl." Something like that. Or, have dad pat me on the back. "I'm so proud of my baby," that kind of thing. So, I am missing out on that. And I do love my parents dearly. But I'm grown now, honey. And I kiss his ass for nobody. I'm just saying. I just feel like, at some point in your life, at some point in their life, somebody has to come to a point where they're like, okay, enough's enough. This has to change. This has to stop. For me, I want more than just a temporary change, a temporary stop. I need something solid, permanent, that's going to stick. I don't want to keep falling out with my family members. And it's not even, hold on, y'all. It's not even like, we have an official falling out. It's just like, okay, well, I'm not going to answer your phone calls or your texts anymore. I'm mad at you. yeah, that tells me a whole lot about what I did wrong, or what may have offended you, or what, what we could do to make things better, when you're not even willing to put forth the effort to identify the issue. Yeah, so guys, I just had to get that off my chest, because there is a lot of grudge holding in my family. So I'm too familiar with this whole process. And I can't say, that I'm perfect. But eventually I know things will change. Things will get better. And, eventually they will come around. I'm not saying it's all their fault. But my thing is, like I just said before, I'm not kissing ass to make friends. That's just not how I'm living my life. I'm pretty independent. I take care of myself. I don't, ask for anybody's help. That's just the way I was raised. I don't ask for anything unless I absolutely need it. Unless it's an absolute must. I cannot go without it. But usually, the way I was raised, if there's something you need and you don't have it, you go without. That's just the way that it was in my family. That's the way that it is. And I have no problem with that. If I don't have it, I go without. That's just the way it has to be. Like, I'm not going to, beg. I'm not gonna ask. It could be a pride issue. I know I have a pride issue. I don't ask anybody for anything. And not saying that that's a good thing or a bad thing. I'm just saying, having family there to support you, or to have your back and all that, is not a bad idea. Letting go of those grudges and those ill feelings and all that will do you a ton of justice. I don't live my life with grudges, nor do I plan to. Hold on a second, I gotta turn. Nor do I plan to. And I'm sure, my relationship with my parents will get better, and probably my sisters as well. But at this point in my life, I'm not at a point where I'm gonna, open that door and say, hey, what's going on? Because you have to understand, my parents are not as accepting of everything like society is, or whatever. So when you come to them, you have to basically baby them up and kind of apologize and tell them you were the wrong part. Like, I'm tired of that shit. I ain't doing that. I'm sorry. I'm not doing, I'm just not at a point in my life where I feel like I need to do that. I'm 30 years old. I'm a grown ass woman. I handle my business. I pay my own bills. I take care of my own kids with no help. And so I don't feel like I should be stooping, and maybe I shouldn't even look at it this negatively, but it is what it is, guys. A grudge is a grudge, and nobody can change it but you. That's all. I'm gonna get off my soapbox now, because I'm getting a little carried away. But y'all, it's not worth it. It's not worth not talking to your family. It's not worth holding grudges. It's not worth losing sleep. It's not worth the lost connection, with your family. And so, I think about it all the time, and I know that it's something I probably need to work on myself. Hold on, guys. I'm sorry. Yes, I know it's something I need to work on myself. Not saying that I hold grudges, but just the fact that I haven't reached out yet, to take that extra step or walk that extra mile. I just think that I'm just not at the point right now where I'm ready to do that. So I'll end the video on that note, because I'm getting a little carried away now. But y'all get what I'm saying. Y'all got to rectify these relationships and open that gate of communication with your family, because in the end, that's all you truly have. When they start dying off and dropping like flies, you will regret that wholeheartedly. All right, y'all. Bye.